Yeah. Welcome everyone to the Township Council meeting Monday, February 24th, 2025. This meeting is now called to order. Please all rise to salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was promptly posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 7th, 2025. A copy of the notice was sent to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on Township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of this meeting.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, at this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel? Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 27th.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. Madam Clerk, call the roll for the minutes of January 27th, 2025.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Have a motion for the workshop meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. The first item on the agenda this evening is the appointment of Alexis Rima to the Library Board with a term expiring May 31st, 2025, filling an unexpired term.
Mayor, I see that Alexis is in the audience. Would you like to come forward? Say some words.
Did you prepare a speech?
Hi, everyone. Would be really excited to do this. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what else you guys want me to say. Sorry.
Well, we look forward to having you on the board there, and I know the library is excited to have you as well.
Thank you.
The president of the board's in our audience. Ms. Quaddy, would you like to come up? No? You haven't missed, ever since you've been the president, you haven't missed anyone who's becoming a new trustee. You're always here for them. Thank you for both. President Quaddy, thank you for the fine work you do. We wish you all the best, Alexis. It's quite a challenge at times being on the library board with a limited, tight budget. So we wish you all the best. Anything else, Mayor?
Yes, Council President, a couple of things. One is I am excited and happy to announce that after a couple of year process, the township was finally approved through the federal government to obtain and secure a .gov domain. This will apply to all municipal email addresses in the future, as well as our new website, which I'll talk about in just a second. Everybody's new email address in Little Falls will remain the same with the first half, with whatever their first initial and last name is, followed by now with an @ It is littlefallsnj.gov. We have been lfnj.com for a lot of years using a commercial website domain. There are some downsides with that in that a number of people that I've communicated with in the past were unsure if it was even coming from a municipal email, because many others do have at least a .org or several of the other domains that have been utilized. But we have not. So we now have a .gov email address. It was a process that needed approval. Our first initial thought was move over to lfnj.gov. Unfortunately, the federal government thought that was nowhere near unique enough for any town or city or within a state to utilize. The first one they threw back at us was, how do we know that's not Little Ferry, New Jersey? So good point. We had to come up with a more unique domain, and littlefalls.gov was one of the options that they had given back to us, along with a list of others. And it made by far the most sense for us here. on that, our website is now also littlefallsnj.gov. For those of you looking to visit the website and to access information, the new website will be littlefallsnj.gov. It has gone not just a website link or domain change. It has gone a complete overhaul. It is a completely new website. And this also applies to all of the township's brand new social media accounts, including Facebook, Instagram. So you can follow the township on all of those for information as it becomes available. So we are excited to now have .gov emails and domains for our website. There are a couple of other updates that I have, and these are broken record updates. We're still waiting for a PSE&G to provide power to the traffic light at the intersection of Francisco and Cedar Grove Road. Everything else is essentially done. We're now waiting for electric to hit the box from the poles so that we can power up the lights. Unfortunately, still waiting for that to occur. And as far as our municipal parking lot behind the old PNC Bank, that is a similar broken record story about we are waiting for Verizon now to move over the low voltage lines from the original poles to the new pole locations so that the poles can then be removed and the lot can finally be paved and completed. So waiting on those to finally move forward. Unfortunately, we have been very communicative with them. They just don't provide us with updates or times or responses to when they will be coming to complete the work. So we will continue to follow up with them, but unfortunately, no definite answers yet. Any other questions from the council that I can answer?
Mayor, you've been in touch with the with the federal government concerning the Pac-Man?
Yes, I had a meeting with our representatives from the Army Corps very recently. It was primarily about the relocation of infrastructure in areas where the Peckman flood tunnel will be crossing, about sewer lines, about electric, about a number of other, water lines and things of that sort. I did get a response from the Army Corps that advised us that the actual timing of the work, and I want to make sure I have the exact dates here. The projected start date is a late 2027, early 2028 construction. So I know I was excited, as many people were in town, that 4 years ago, they'd be breaking ground in 2 years. We're now 2 years beyond that and being told that it is a tentative start of late 27, early 28. The actual plans are about 30% complete. We did physically see them, Mr. Quattrone and I. They do have real plans that are well underway. They're going to actually begin doing test samples and test pits along what will be the flood tunnel route. Starting actually this week, they'll be starting at the DPW yard and making their way towards the Passaic River. So the process and progress is really and truly underway. It is just, unfortunately, as we see with so many, especially federal projects, never mind state, and then local projects, it is a long process to undergo to get there. But it is really moving along. The funding is still allocated, so we are excited to continue to see this move along. I actually plan on doing an informational post about that soon because we finally received this update from the Army Corps about their tentative start date.
Does the council have any questions or comments? We'll move on. Councilwoman Patel.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few upcoming events. All of the events are on the township website on the calendar. The flyers are attached, but there is a vein screening. You get a free leg ultrasound tomorrow between 12 and 3 p.m. at the Clifton Satellite Office. There's a heart health screening on Wednesday, February 26th. That's from 10 to 12. That's going to be at the Clifton City Hall. Registration for that event is required. All the information, again, is on the township website. There's a mental health screening on Friday, February 28th, again, at the Clifton Satellite Office. Then there's a program on seasonal affective disorder, which is actually going to be taking place here in Little Falls on Thursday, March 13th at 10 a.m. Dr. Joanne is going to host the event, and it's going to be informational, but there's also going to be exercises and a meditation that she's going to lead to help combat these symptoms. And finally, there is stress management counseling that's being offered through the Clifton Health Department. Or it's appointment based, so you can call 551-237-3151 to make an appointment. And then finally, our next Public Health Committee meeting is going to take place on March 12th at 7 o'clock right here in Town Hall. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Patel. Councilwoman Hablitz.
Thank you, Council President. So congratulations again to Alexis. I know she will be a great addition to the Library Board of Trustees. This weekend, I was able to attend with Council President Scoba, our annual Ramadan event. Thank you to Councilman Vanchery. It was a wonderful event, and to the Little Falls Muslim Committee for putting on such a great event. There was the crescent lighting at the park, and afterwards festivities. And it was a very well put together event. It was a lot of fun. So thank you, and to Councilman Vanchery, and a blessed Ramadan to all who celebrate. For library updates, they are also having a Ramadan story time and craft this Wednesday, the 26th at 6:30 p.m. And there also will be the monthly Royal Tea Club at 11 a.m. Learn about all things royal while having a nice hot cup of tea. The farmers market is preparing for another season. We are still seeking new vendors, and we are also seeking a new market manager. So if anyone is interested in either, they can reach out to Tyler Passaro at lffarmersmarket.com. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. Thank you, Councilwoman Hablitz. Yesterday, we had the Ramadan services, and then we had the celebration at the rec center. Just want to say thank you to all those that were involved, especially to the Little Falls Police Department, the Little Falls DPW, as well as the Little Falls Rec Center, helping behind the scenes, just putting everything together. Residents that came out, thank you for that. So one project down, and then sort of today you start shifting gears to the next one. So I'm actually working on the next couple events that we have coming up over the next few months, including the Autism Awareness Month, flag raising for April. I'm just working on a date. I'll keep everybody posted. There was a resident that I've been trying to get in touch with that had reached out and was looking to help out and do some things in town. So I'm hoping she'll get back to me so I can start planning that. And then today, spent a lot of time sort of planning Memorial Day weekend. I know my colleagues, I reached out to each of you as well. Just let me know if any of your committees or groups want to be a part of the concert that'll take place on that Friday night, followed by the parade the next day as well. Also putting together some letters for some invites, including the Sheriff's Department. I'm hoping finally this year, now with Sheriff Adamo in charge, we can get a nice presence from the Sheriff's Department like we see in some other towns. So I'm going to take care of that this week as well. And then lastly, I'm waiting to get some dates from the county engineers and road department. I had talked to them a couple of weeks ago about addressing by the Wilmore Road Park some handicap spaces. We've heard from about 4 or 5 different residents that have talked about this. And so I asked Ken Simpson to get me some dates in March where we could set up some time and meet at the park. So Chief, I'll keep you posted on that. So if you can join with the traffic division, a lot of times when we work with the county, it's just easier to physically have them here with you to show them what we're proposing or what they're willing to do, because Wilmore Road is a county road. So if we're looking to add some handicap space near where the park is, because that's a concern from some of the residents, especially if you have grandkids that want to bring them to the park and there's really nowhere to park sometimes. So looking into that, I'll keep you posted once I hear back with some dates next month from the county. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. Just a quick update on the township calendars. They have been dropped off to the post office this past Friday, so most of the Little Falls should receive their calendars by this week. It is the United States Postal Service, so you may not receive it this week, but most residents should receive it sometime this week. So just keep an eye out for that. Next Tuesday, the 4th, we do have a domestic violence awareness committee meeting. March is still Zoom, so if you do want to hop on that Zoom, just shoot me an email because it is not on the town website just yet. But if you want to hop on the Zoom, just shoot me an email. I'll send you over the link, and this week could join us. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Murphy. I do want to say I got a call from a congresswoman who needed a private space to conduct a meeting. And right away, I thought of the library and the nice conference room that was developed downstairs. And it worked out very well. It's a nice addition to that library to have a private space to conduct a private meeting. So that was well received. On Wednesday, March 12th, it's St. Patrick's Day luncheon for the seniors from 12 to 3 at the Little Falls Civic Center. It's $20 for non-residents. For those that want to attend, please call 973-256-0249 or reach out to Tyler at the Rec Center or call the municipal building. Before we continue, for those that don't want to stay, we're not insulted if you leave. It's quite a long meeting tonight, but if you would like to stay, you're welcome to stay. Counselor, do you have anything this evening? Thank you. Can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Anyone wishing to address the council may do so through the council president. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the records. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the council president. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide a comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the council president will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon, then the raise hand icon. Once the process is completed, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. We have one individual, I think, with their hand up. Yes. Adam Zerber, can you hear us?
Yes, Council President. Thank you. Can you hear me?
The floor is yours. Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if Ms. Arima and Ms. Kawadi have taken you up on the opportunity to leave, but if they're still there, I just wanted to, through you, Council President, to extend my congratulations to Ms. Arima for her appointment. I had the honor of filling that seat on the library board for 5 years. Unfortunately, had to step down due to a change in my work schedule. But having seen the great progress at the library under the leadership of Board President Ann Kawadi and Council Liaison Christine Hablitz, Director Jennifer Cole, and the rest of the trustees, just wanted to say that I have no doubt that Ms. Arima is an excellent choice, a wonderful addition to the board, and will help continue that momentum that's been built. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you for your comments and for your service that you gave to the library board. We appreciate that dedication on behalf of the council and the mayor. Is there anyone in our audience that'd like to come before us on agenda items? Have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Are there questions on the consent agenda? I have one. The blue light permit, is that for every fireman?
They have to do an individual application. And so this one in particular, just for one individual. When you join, you have to apply for it, get the permit, and they are able to respond once they receive the grant from it.
Thank you. No questions or comments on the consent agenda? This is a roll call. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance 1508.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1508, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Township Code Chapter 71 fees, Recreation Department fees.
Thank you. The public hearing on ordinance 1508 is now open. Does anyone wish to speak on ordinance 1508? Seeing none come before us, the public hearing on ordinance 1508 is now closed. Can I have a motion to adopt 1508? Moved by Councilwoman Patel,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance 1509, please.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1509, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Township Code Chapter 71 fees, Building Department fees.
Thank you. The public hearing on 1509 is now open. Does anyone wish to speak on ordinance 1509? Seeing no one to come forward to speak on the public hearing of ordinance 1509 is now closed. Can I have a motion to adopt 1509?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Madam Clerk, call the roll to adopt 1509.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz, Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Madam Clerk, read ordinance 1510.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1510, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Township Code Chapter 109, Land Use Procedures.
The public hearing of 1510 is now open. Does anyone wish to come before us for 1510? Seeing no one come before us for 1510, the public hearing is now closed. Can I have a motion to adopt 1510?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. Please call the roll to adopt 1510.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz, Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, read ordinance 1511.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1511, an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on-street regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls.
The public hearing of ordinance 1511 is now open. Does anyone wish to speak on 1511? Seeing no one come before us for 1511 is now closed. Can I have a motion to adopt 1511?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Please call the roll to adopt 1511.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz, Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 1512.
Introduction of ordinance 1512, an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the Township Council of Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 3 Administration of Government of the Code of the Township of Little Falls with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 10th, 2025.
Mayor, do you have any comments on 1512? I'd like to explain on our form of government how that works.
Sure. So there are specific roles assigned to every governing body member. And I think there was some maybe uncertainty or maybe not enough clarity over my particular role and what I am authorized and not authorized to do. This is simply an update to provide additional clarity in the scope of the roles that I'm permitted to act in.
Thank you. So can I have a motion? Did I say motion to introduce 1512?
Not yet.
Have a motion to introduce 1512? Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, can I have a motion to open the meeting to public matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor? All those opposed? Madam Clerk?
Anyone wishing to address the council, Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide a comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide a comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The floor is open. Ma'am,
Hi,
please state your name.
my name is Karen Trapuka. My husband is Tracy Trapuka. We live at 50 Ridge Road on the corner of Ridge and Francisco. And the traffic has increased monumentally on that corner. A few days before Christmas, an 18-wheeler making a right-hand turn coming up the hill from Francisco, making a right onto Ridge, hit the traffic pole, knocked it clear across Ridge Road. My house shook. They cannot make that turn. They're not able to make that turn without the entire row of cars backing up. And I don't understand if there's something that can be done about that. They come up Francisco, they come across Ridge. I know they're county roads, but this is kind of a dangerous situation. There are people waiting on the corner for buses. There are no sidewalks for people who walk. And aside from the 18-wheelers and the trucks that come up and down and across that road, they speed up as they come up Francisco. When they see the light turn yellow, they step on the gas instead of stepping on the brake. I have personally witnessed them flying through red lights. And I think there's going to be a terrible crash. There have been many crashes before, but I'm very worried that it escalated. And I think there's going to be a major crash and somebody's going to get terribly hurt, if not killed, on that corner. I don't know if there's anything that we can do, but they speed. They don't pay attention to the speed limit on either road, up and down or across. And it's a dangerous situation right now. The second thing I have to say is, are there any anything in place for leaf blowers in this town? Because the noise is becoming unbearable. And I'm noticing that people are now using their gas-powered leaf blowers to blow the snow. Not only the leaves during that season, but the snow also. And it's really difficult to be outside without the level of noise between the traffic, leaf blowers, and we've been in the house for over 20 years. And it's become really hard to live on that corner. So.
Does the council members have any questions or comments? Councilmember
If I
Murphy?
may. Mr. Speaker, it's funny. I was actually at that intersection maybe about a week or two ago. And it's funny you said that because I did see somebody blow a red light. And the next time I went to that light, I actually looked at it and I timed it. And when most lights go from red to green and the other side goes from green to red, there's usually about a 3-second pause in between there. I noticed there's almost no pause. It's almost instantaneous. And I don't know if I know it's probably the county control, but I don't know if it's something we could request from them because usually there's a pause. I don't know if we can get a pause in there. It's probably pretty dangerous. And as you said, there's been some pretty bad accidents over there. I don't know if that's new or old, but maybe, I don't know, Councilman Cherry, if you have some more insight on that.
Mayor, with that light, it's really about the timing because, we've looked at some other ones, but I know we have to kind of check it out to some older light. If I'm not mistaken. It's not like the newer ones.
So as all of you know, I live in that area and frequently make my way towards that light, especially if I'm going to visit either of my brothers. So I'm there regularly. I'm familiar with it. I actually was there the day that the truck took out the light pole, a little bit after that. Frankly, I don't think trucks have any business coming up Francisco to begin with whatsoever. Never mind car carriers, which can't clear the railroad tracks, but 18-wheelers as well. Unfortunately, we don't get to dictate the truck routes in town on county roads. It is something we can certainly reach out to the county about. I don't know how we would prohibit trucks from coming up that way. We have looked into truck routes in Little Falls on a couple of occasions, going back 6, 7, 8 years ago now, even with the county. Unfortunately, we weren't successful in even modifying any of the current permissions that they have through our town because they were county roads. And those are technically and usually the truck routes that are assigned to avoid local roads. That aside, I will tell you, I think some of the issues at that light have to do with the timing of the light. Not only the timing between the red and the green alternating, but the timing of the light itself. There are times, I mean, there are other times. Almost always, when you hit that red light on Francisco Ave, you sit there for what seems like an eternity. And it probably is about a full minute at times, which a lot of times, especially at night on weekends, when there's not one other car even coming down Ridge Road, you feel like you're sitting on Francisco for an eternity. That results, I believe, in people thinking, I don't want to sit at this light for a full minute. So when it turns yellow, their reaction is to press the gas instead of the brake to make sure they don't have to wait at the light. Maybe this is something that our traffic division can look into at the timings of the light, how, if there are any changes. This may be, to your point, Councilman, one of the traffic controllers that we have an issue updating because of how old it is. Unfortunately, while the truck took down the traffic light itself, it didn't do us the favor of taking down the control box that would have allowed us to put or would have required the county to put a new timer and control device in. So I think that may be one of the intersections that has a very old control device in it, which makes it a little bit harder to update. I'm not saying that it can't be and that we can't look to see if it maybe can be updated. But looking into the timing of that light may impact that. I believe we were looking to do a new traffic study in that section of the roadway as well, particularly the section between a ridge and the top of Long Hill, where I know sometimes there have been issues with speeding or concerns of it in that area. I think we did do a study at some point. We can look to see if we have that information. I will say, I don't know if it was during a period of time when MSU was in session. I do find, and I could be dead wrong on this, and a speed study would tell us this, but I believe that the amount of vehicles that use that section of the roadway when MSU is in session is higher than when it's not in session. So if we did a traffic study during the July or August time periods when June, July, August, when school is not necessarily in, there may have been a lower volume, may have been lower speeds versus the 8 or 9 months a year when MSU is in session. So at a bare minimum, we may be able to at least get an update of the speeding or a speed test in that area that may assist us in addressing that issue or that concern as well, and figuring out a way that we might be able to do some targeted enforcement in that area through our police department.
Essentially, it's a highway.
Well, and one thing I did want to add, the one thing that we've been working on with the county is we're actually changing the speed limit on Ridge. It's going to go from 35 to 25. The little process that we have to do on our end first, we got the permission late last year for them to go ahead with this. We're going to pass the ordinance on our end, of course, but then what we need to do is send it to the county, and then they're going to adopt it on their end so that we can officially change it from 35 to 25. And what we've been doing as well is our police department's been in touch with Cedar Grove, and I've been in touch with the Essex County. They're going to change their speed limit as well because they get a lot of complaints on Ridge as well. Where the school is, when you go further down the hill, there's constantly a police officer there because of, it's 40 and they're probably doing 50, 55 because it's easy once you go up the reservoir. So that's something that we're looking to do. And then there'll obviously be some signs with the change and then enforcement. But I do think, Chief, maybe we could do is connect afterwards with the residents here and then maybe fill out the report, look into it, and then the traffic division can reach out, because a lot of times once they get the information, there's specific times when they do the check for the speed and everything, we can get a sense of when there's a high volume of speed, at what time of the day, that sort of thing, and they can help enforce it. And with the light, if we're able to change it, it will help tremendously, because we've changed the lights on Main Street right here on Union, adding more time, because you would see when the highway's backed up,
Right.
Main Street would get backed up, especially by Montclair and the post office. So adding more time with the left has allowed that, and same thing further down the road over at Main and Stevens. So it's something that we do take serious if we can alleviate some of those problems. But to the mayor's point too, with the trucks, we've tried, and there's a whole interstate trucker commerce too that you hear, because we get it from Cedar Grove Road as well. That's where they hate the trucks coming through. And we've noticed too, I think probably a pickup with the speed humps on Houston and Jacobus. They're not going on those streets anymore. They're sticking to the county roads.
Yeah, the 18-wheelers rarely went down Houston or Jacobus.
Yeah, once in a while they would go down.
But to make that right turn for a truck,
They can't do it.
there's simply not enough room for them to swing and make the turn. It's a problem, but they're permitted to drive on those roads as part of the truck routes right now. Maybe we can follow up with the county again to see if there's something we can do about prohibiting a right turn. I don't know if they would actually, for trucks, I don't know if it's possible or something that would even be entertained, but we see a lot of the trucks coming from the industrial yard in Cedar Grove. They make their way down Cedar Grove Road, or technically Little Falls Road, to Francisco or East Lindsley there. They make the right, they head up and over the tracks, and then to your intersection, where they if there are other cars in the other lanes, they just do not have enough room to make the turns.
No, and I can reach out to the engineer, Jonathan, who handles that road, because he's the one that's been helping us out with the speed limit change the Ridge. I can ask him to see what they can do. And a lot of times it's getting them, like I said before, with having the county come to Wilmore Road Park, getting them physically to come here to see it and understand what the problem is, especially with an 18-wheeler trying to make that turn, especially if there is a car on Ridge at the line. It's not easy. It really isn't. So I'll make a call to.
There have been accidents where the cars, not the trucks, but car accidents that have wound up on our lawn.
Yes. No, I know. I was
And
there.
with the increased traffic now, it worries me. I mean, that traffic light could have landed in my house.
No, I totally
And
understand.
it's It's
I was there a
good
couple
fun.
years ago with Officer Manola because there was an instance where a car actually crashed. It took the guardrail out and ended up in someone's lawn over there
Yeah.
for speeding. Yes, so
It's
we're
frightening.
totally aware of it. And that's why we've been pushing to change the speed limit too, to get people to finally slow down. So, but we'll keep you posted. We can look at, we'll talk to you after this, get your information.
Thank you.
You can stay there, please. So you also mentioned about noise this evening. And I think your two comments was traffic and gas leaf blowers. So yeah, it does seem interesting that gas leaf blowers are now being used to remove snow when it's not too much of the snow. If it's an inch or two, it seems to be quicker and easier for someone to break out their gas blower and blow the snow. We don't have an ordinance against that, you know. So hopefully they're not doing it at 2 o'clock in the morning. But having said that, there are also people who need to get to work, and there's sometimes limited number of companies that will remove snow, and they do show up at your neighbor's house or residence, you know, at odd hours because they have to get to many homes. So the town kind of doesn't go around, you know, telling those people don't do their job. People need to get to work. We have an understanding of that, but if you ever feel that noise is over and beyond, you're always welcome to call the police department and make a complaint. Thank you.
If
Thank
I
you for
may
your
just
comment.
add to that briefly, I have spoken to a number of people that I know who reside in Montclair. And they had initially supported the initiative that Montclair had to eliminate gas leaf blowers. And it turns out every single one of them that has a landscaper now regrets pushing the initiative to go to battery powered devices because the cost of their landscaping has dramatically increased. And a lot of that reason is because landscapers were all forced to purchase new machines to perform the work. The number of batteries that they require to operate throughout the course of a day and the generators that they now require on their trucks to charge the batteries that they are using throughout the day has caused a very steep increase in landscaping costs for them. So it's one of those things where in the future, maybe as battery powered devices continue, you know, the technology with that continues to improve and we see longer life, longer lasting batteries and you know, easier ways to charge them. It may be something that we can consider, but right now, unfortunately, just seeing the repercussion that it had there, I think the burden, the financial burden that it puts on residents in a town may outweigh the benefits of the quieter, you know, machines that they're using to perform the work. And to your point, Council President, our ordinance for noise does have a specific carve out for snow removal. And the reason being is that oftentimes snow can be a safety issue for people. We don't want to stop them from using a snow blower or something in the wintertime to remove the snow at 2 a.m. if it's required for them to maybe get to work or do whatever it is that they may have to do. So there is a carve out for that. Again, if somebody's using a leaf blower at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., it may be a different issue depending on our noise ordinance and the day of the week. But unfortunately, the snow, it would not apply.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close the public comment? Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Havelitz. Voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel?
So moved.
So
Moved
moved.
by Councilman Vattel, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Probably be about 15 minutes.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna be standing. Yes.
Are we all here?
Yeah.
Kevin, a motion to return to open session,
So moved.
moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Vattel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? There was no action. Thank you, Melissa, for stepping up at this meeting at the last moment. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor? All those opposed? This meeting is now closed.